Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and work on the last couple of examples out of the book. Again, these are homework problems, and this is number 53 again. Here's kind of here's the answer in the back of the book. So the same thing you guys have. I'm just going to show you how we should be working homework problems. So the first thing we want to do is see if we could simplify anything. And we see on the right side we have kind of this guy we need to break down a little bit. The left looks okay, but the right we need to work on. So let's go ahead and just bring what we have on the left down. We don't have to do anything there. Is equal to, and we know we got to distribute to 3, so we get 3x minus 18, because we got to distribute the 3 to the negative 6, and that gives us negative 18 plus 8. Now we still need to simplify because we got two constant terms, so we need to collect like terms on the right side. 4x plus 2, not doing anything to the left yet. 3x, we know that negative 18 plus 8 gives us a negative 10. So minus 10. Now we're done about as far as we can go. So what we need to do here is we need to try to see, okay, we know that we like to have our variables on one side and our constants on the other. So just by looking at this, we've so far always got our variables to the left and our constants to the right. That's probably a good thing to do here again. So let's practice that. How do we get rid of the negative 3x, or the 3x? We subtract 3x from this side. But remember our golden rule? If we do it to this side, we got to do it to this side as well. So we subtracted 3x there. Now we also want to go ahead and take the 2 from this side away. And we can do that by saying, okay, subtract 2 from this side. But if we subtract 2 from this side, we also got to subtract 2 from this side. Now we can just perform the calculations. 4x minus 3x just gives us 1x, which is just x. Plus 2 minus 2 just gives us 0. We know we don't have to put that. We've got a big equal sign. Now we got 3x minus 3x gives us 0. We know we don't have to put that. Now we have negative 10 minus 2 gives us negative 12. And what do you know? Look at our answer. X is equal to negative 12. And the answer in the back of the book says negative 12. So we've solved this nice and clean. And again, to check your work, practice checking your work, guys. You can just plug in negative 12 to your initial problem, and your equal sign should indicate it is a solution. And now let's go to our last problem. And this one is a word problem. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick feel for how I like to do word problems, and it's helped me for a long time. The way I like to do word problems is read the word problem first, real quick, then reread it, and as I'm reading the second time, I stop as soon as I find something that is worth putting to the side, and I write it down. Then I cross out what I read and keep doing it until I got all information written in my own words. So let's go ahead and start. The selling price of a computer to a student from a retailer is $1,850. If the markup by the retailer on the computer is $150, find the cost to the retailer for the computer. So now let's go ahead and read it a little bit slower and stop when we find some interesting information that's useful to us. The selling price of a computer to a student from a retailer is $1,850. Ooh, so a student buys it, or student costs, or student pays, right? That's what we have to pay as students, is equal to $1,850. Nice computer there. So since we wrote it in our own words, we can go and cross it out up here, that we don't have to repeat that information and we don't have to backtrack. The next part says if the markup by the retailer on the computer is $150, so that means that the store we buy it from adds $150. So store makes The store makes 150. Let's cross that out on the board. Find the cost to the retailer for the computer. So how much did the store pay for the computer? So now we can go and put an equation in our own words, right? We know that the store makes the cost that the student pays, right? The cost that we pay them minus their cost, or you know, what it costs them for the computer. So we'll say their costs. So let's take a look. Well, now we can see how it's so nice to put things in our own words, because we now have made an equation without knowing it. The store makes 150. We have down here store makes. The store makes 150 is equal to what students pay. The student pays $1,850 minus their cost, so how much they pay for the computer, right? And we can go ahead and a trick here we can do is we can designate this by a variable x. So now this long word problem, we broke it down into simple algebra, and we have a nice simple equation that we know how to work with pretty well, and it's in this form. So now we can, the last thing we need to go ahead and do is solve this problem. And we know we like our variables on the left and our constants on the right. So the way we get rid of a negative x is we add x, right, to both sides. The way we get rid of the constants from the left and bring them to the right is we subtract 150 from both sides. I forgot to draw my line there, sorry. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring this over because it got kind of hairy. But 0 plus x gives us just x. 150 minus 150 gives us a 0, so nothing to put there. Now we have our equal sign, right? Equal sign there. Now we get 1850 minus 150 gives us 1700. And what do you know? That was the answer in the back of the book as well. So hopefully that helped you to at least start learning how to do word problems. We're going to be working on these a little bit more throughout the term, so it's good to get used to them now. So go ahead and work and finish all this section 2.1, and hope to see some good discussion, and good luck.